I never thought I'd be eating cold Chinese takeout in my car, parked outside my childhood home, watching my own family laugh through the kitchen window. But here I am, chopsticks frozen midair, as my mother's voice carries through the partially open window. She'll figure something out. Stella always does. My name is Stella, and I just got laid off from my tech job in Silicon Valley. Well, that's what they think happened anyway. The truth is a bit more complicated, but we'll get to that later. I showed up on their doorstep this morning, swallowing my pride, expecting at least a few days of shelter while I figured things out. Instead, I got my mother's perfectly manicured hand on my shoulder, steering me away from the entrance. "Oh, sweetie," she'd said, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. "This isn't a good time. Annabelle's going through something terrible." Right on cue, dramatic sobs echoed from inside. My cousin Annabelle sprawled across our leather couch, mascara-stained tissue scattered around her like fallen soldiers. "Her boyfriend left her," Mom whispered, as if announcing a terminal diagnosis. "She needs space to heal." "And where exactly am I supposed to sleep?" I asked, already knowing the answer. "Well," Mom glanced at my car, a modest Honda Civic that didn't quite match the neighborhood's luxury vehicle aesthetic. "Just for a few days, until you sort yourself out?" I watched her disappear inside, where Annabelle's theatrical wailing had reached a crescendo. Through the window, I could see my Aunt Josephine patting Annabelle's head, while my father stood in the corner, pretending to read something on his phone. My sister Iris, the only one who seemed to notice the absurdity of it all, caught my eye from the staircase. She mouthed, "I'm sorry," before Mom shooed her away. That was 12 hours ago. Now I'm watching them share pizza and wine, their laughter a stark contrast to the silence in my car. My phone buzzes with a text from Sterling, my former business partner. "Did they buy it?" I type back, hook, line, and sinker. Time to test this theory. Another sob-filled screech pierces the night. Annabelle's voice carries clearly, "I need to be alone in my room." My room. My childhood bedroom, where my posters once hung and my dreams took shape. Now it belongs to a 26-year-old woman having a meltdown over a 3-month relationship. A soft tap on my window makes me jump. It's Iris, holding a blanket and my old pillow. "They're horrible," she whispers as I crack the window. "I can't believe they're doing this to you." "It's fine," I lie, accepting the bedding. "I've slept in worse places." "No, you haven't," she argues, her teenage wisdom cutting through my bravado. "Mom cleared out your entire room this afternoon." "Everything's in boxes in the garage. She said you'd abandoned it anyway." I feel my jaw tighten, but maintain my composure. "Did she keep the photo albums at least?" "Annabelle needed the shelf space for her healing crystals." Iris rolls her eyes. "I saved what I could, but—" A sharp voice cuts through the darkness. "Iris, get inside this instant." Mom stands in the doorway, silhouetted by warm light, looking like every suburban nightmare come to life. "And Stella, dear, could you move your car a bit? The neighbors might talk." I start the engine, but instead of moving, I roll down my window fully. "You know what, Mom? You're right. The neighbors might talk. In fact, I'm counting on it." She blinks, confused by my calm demeanor. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing," I smile, the same fake smile she taught me. Just thinking out loud. "Good night, Mother." As she hurries Iris inside, I open my banking app and stare at the 8-figure balance hidden behind a series of shell companies. The house's deed sits in my glove compartment, filed under an LLC name that would mean nothing to them. My phone buzzes again. Sterling. "Ready when you are, boss." I take one last look at the house. My house, though they don't know it yet. Through the window, I can see Annabelle dramatically draped across the couch, my mother hovering nearby with tissues, my father still absorbed in his phone. They look like a perfect family portrait, minus the daughter sleeping in her car. I text back to Sterling, "Start the clock. Let's see how long it takes them to realize who really owns their roof." Then I recline my seat, wrap myself in the blanket Iris brought, and smile. Sometimes revenge doesn't need to be served cold. Sometimes it just needs to be served at exactly the right moment. And that moment is coming sooner than they think. 18 days. That's how long I've been living in my car, watching my family's true colors bleed through their perfect facade. Every morning, I wake up to the sound of sprinklers hitting my windshield, deliberately aimed at my parking spot by my father's precise adjustments. "Remember when you told me I'd never make it in tech?" I whisper to myself, thinking back to that night 3 years ago in Sterling's garage, where our startup was born. A tap on my window interrupts my thoughts. It's Iris, carrying 2 steaming cups of coffee. "They're talking about calling the police," she says, handing me a cup through the window. "Mom says you're destroying property values by being here." I laugh, taking a sip. Destroying property values? That's rich. I don't understand why you're not telling them about... Iris glances around conspiratorially. "You know, the money." "Because money isn't the point anymore." I pull out my laptop, showing her my email. "Look what just came in from the realtor next door." Iris leans in, reading aloud. "Interested buyer offering $1.2 million for the property. Excellent opportunity to..." "Not for sale," I say, typing my response. "But it might be available very soon." "You're scary sometimes," Iris grins. "In a good way." The front door slams, and Annabelle emerges in her yoga outfit, shooting us a disgusted look. "Oh my God, are you still here? Don't you have, like, friends or something?" "I do," I reply calmly. "They're just waiting for the right moment to make an appearance." She rolls her eyes and struts away, probably heading to her 3rd yoga class of the week, all charged to my mother's credit card, no doubt. My phone rings. It's Sterling. "The LLC paperwork is final," he says, without preamble. "You're officially the ghost owner of 1542 Maple Drive. Want me to start phase 2? I watch as my mother appears in the kitchen window, phone pressed to her ear, gesturing animatedly. Not yet. "Let them dig the hole a little deeper." "Stella," Iris whispers urgently, "Mom's calling Uncle Nigel. I think they're planning something." I nod, unsurprised. "Let me guess. They're going to try to have my car towed?" "Worse. They're talking about a restraining order." I can't help but laugh. A restraining order? To keep me away from my own property? That's going to be interesting. Just then, my father emerges from the garage, walking purposefully toward my car. I roll down my window, maintaining eye contact. "This has gone on long enough," he says, his voice cold. "You're embarrassing yourself and this family." "Am I?" I ask quietly. "Tell me, Dad, what's more embarrassing? Having your daughter sleep in her car, or making her sleep in her car?" He shifts uncomfortably. "You made your choices. Silicon Valley dreams, remember? Now you're back with nothing to show for it." If he only knew about the 3 patents in my name, the successful IPO, the offshore accounts. But instead, I just smile. Nothing to show for it? We'll see about that. "Louis!" My mother's shrill voice cuts through the morning air. "The Hendersons are coming over for brunch. Get her out of here." Dad straightens his shoulders. "You have 1 hour to leave, or I'm calling the police." As he walks away, Iris squeezes my hand through the window. "Are you really going to leave?" "No," I say, pulling out my phone. "I'm going to give them exactly what they want. A show." I dial Sterling's number. "Remember that real estate sign we had made? Bring it over. It's time for phase 2. An hour later, as the Hendersons' BMW pulls into their driveway, Sterling's truck arrives with a professional-looking, property under new management sign. We plant it right in the front yard, making sure the LLC's name, Griffin and Associates, is clearly visible. My mother nearly drops her mimosa when she sees it from the window. Within minutes, she's storming out, face red with fury. "What is the meaning of this?" she demands, gesturing at the sign. "You can't just—" "Oh, but I can," I interrupt smoothly. "You see, this property has new owners. They're just being generous, letting the current occupants stay while they—" I pause for effect. "Figure things out." "You're lying," she hisses, but I see the first flicker of doubt in her eyes. "Am I?" I hand her my business card, newly printed, showing me as the manager of Griffin and Associates. Sleep well, Mother. While you still can. As I walk back to my car, I hear the Hendersons whispering, see Annabelle peeking through the curtains, and notice my father's hands shaking as he makes a phone call, probably to his lawyer. Iris joins me, trying to suppress her grin. "You're not really going to kick them out, are you?" I start my engine, watching my mother frantically trying to explain the sign to her brunch guests. Not yet. First, we're going to let them feel what it's like to not know if you have a roof over your head. My phone buzzes with a notification. A neighbor has made another offer on the house. I smile and type my response. Property status, pending eviction. The coffee shop where I meet Sterling is deliberately chosen, just far enough from my parents' house to avoid prying eyes, but close enough to make a quick return. He slides a manila envelope across the table, his expression a mix of concern and amusement. "Are you sure about this?" he asks, watching me review the final paperwork. Once we move forward, there's no going back. I look up from the documents. "Did you hear what they did yesterday?" "No. What now?" "They're having a barbecue. Right now. The whole family's there, celebrating Annabelle's emotional breakthrough after her breakup." I tap my phone, showing him the photos Iris sent. That's my father manning the grill I bought him last Christmas. Sterling leans in, squinting at the image. "Is that your mom wearing your graduation watch?" "The one she borrowed when I was sleeping in the car?" "Yes." I signed the last page with perhaps more force than necessary. They don't even try to hide it anymore. My phone buzzes. Another text from Iris. "Mom just called you a failure again." Dad laughed. I hate them so much right now. Sterling reads the message over my shoulder and whistles low. "You know, when you first told me about buying the house through the LLC, I thought you were overreacting. Now, I think you might be too nice." I gather the papers, tucking them carefully into my bag. "Let's go see how nice they think I am." We drive separately back to the house. The smell of grilling meat fills the air as I park in my usual spot. Through the fence, I can see them all gathered on the back patio, my mother holding court with a wine glass, Aunt Josephine nodding sympathetically at whatever she's saying, Annabelle sprawled in a lounger wearing my old sunglasses. "She's not even crying anymore," I hear my mother say, her voice carrying clearly. "I think she's used to the car now." "Probably for the best," Aunt Josephine adds. "She never did fit in here anyway." I wait until I hear their laughter fade before making my way to the front door. There's a new sign taped to it. "Private property. Do not disturb." Below that, another note specifically for me. "This means you, Stella." Perfect timing. Sterling pulls up in his Mercedes, wearing his sharpest suit. Showtime. We walk straight through the front door. I still have my key, after all. The conversation in the backyard stops abruptly as we make our entrance through the sliding glass doors. "What do you think you're doing?" my mother demands, nearly dropping her wine. "This is a private family gathering." "Oh, I know," I reply smoothly. "That's exactly why I'm here." I turn to Sterling. "Would you like to do the honors?" He pulls out an official-looking document. As the legal representative of Griffin and Associates, I'm here to inform you that this property has been under new ownership for the past 3 months. What nonsense is this? My father interrupts, abandoning his post at the grill. The foreclosure you thought you handled quietly? I say, watching their faces. Someone bought it. Cash offer. Been letting you live here rent-free while observing the situation. You're lying, Annabelle squeaks, sitting up straight for the first time in weeks. Am I? I pull out my phone, displaying the property deed. Would you like to see the paperwork? Or should we discuss the terms of your eviction first? My mother's face goes pale. You couldn't possibly. Actually, I could, and did. I walk over to the grill, picking up a burger. Remember when you told me I'd never make it in tech? That I was wasting my time with computer nonsense instead of finding a rich husband like Annabelle? But you were laid off, my father stammers. You've been sleeping in your car. I chose to sleep in my car, I correct him, taking a bite of the burger. Wanted to see who'd show their true colors if they thought I had nothing. Guess what? You all did. Aunt Josephine stands up, pointing a shaking finger at me. You manipulative little. Careful, Sterling interrupts. That's your landlord you're talking to. The silence that follows is deafening. Then, from behind me, I hear a quiet laugh. It's Iris, standing in the doorway, slow clapping. By the way, I add, that do not enter sign on my old room, might want to take it down. It's my house. I'll enter any room I want. You can't do this to us, my mother whispers. We're family. I walk to the sliding door, then turn back one last time. Family? Funny. That's not what you called me when I was sleeping in my car. I pull out an envelope labeled eviction notice and place it on the table. Enjoy the rest of your barbecue. You have 14 days to vacate my property. As Sterling and I walk away, I hear the chaos erupting behind us. Annabelle's fresh sobs, my mother's protests, my father's angry phone calls starting already. Feel better? Sterling asks as we reach our cars. I look back at the house, my house, and smile. Not yet, but I will. The morning after the barbecue revelation, I walk into my house wearing my best power suit. The chaos hits me like a wave. Annabelle sprawled on the stairs hyperventilating, Aunt Josephine on the phone with someone she keeps calling my lawyer friend, and my father pacing the living room with a stack of papers. This is illegal, Annabelle shrieks when she sees me. You can't just. Actually, I can. I settle into what used to be my father's favorite armchair. Would you like to see the deed again? The property tax payments? The utility bills in my company's name? My mother emerges from the kitchen, makeup perfectly done despite her obvious distress. Stella, darling, let's talk about this reasonably. Reasonably? I raise an eyebrow. Like how you reasonably let me sleep in my car for 18 days. That was different, she protests. We were teaching you responsibility. Well, consider this your lesson in consequences. Aunt Josephine slams down her phone. My attorney says, your attorney, I interrupt, can contact Sterling directly. Though I should warn you, he specializes in property law and doesn't take kindly to frivolous claims. My father finally speaks up, his voice trembling with barely contained rage. How did you even afford this place? Remember my waste of time tech startup? I pull out my phone, showing him our company's latest valuation. Turns out, all those nights I spent coding instead of attending your country club events paid off. His face goes from red to white in seconds. That's impossible. The impossible daughter, I say sweetly. Who'd have thought? Annabelle suddenly bolts upright. My things. All my things are here. Your things? I stand up slowly. You mean the ones you put in my old room? The room you claimed because you needed space to heal from your 3-month relationship? You don't understand, she wails. That breakup was traumatic. Traumatic? I laugh. Try sleeping in your car while watching your family throw parties through the window. That's traumatic. My mother steps forward, attempting her best reconciliatory tone. Sweetie, we can work this out. What do you want? Money? We can pay rent. I don't want your money. I walk to the window, watching Sterling's car pull up outside. I want you to understand exactly how it feels to have nowhere to go. The doorbell rings. Sterling enters without waiting for an invitation, carrying more paperwork. The formal eviction notice, he announces, placing documents on the coffee table. You have 14 days to vacate the premises. Any items left behind will be considered abandoned property. You can't be serious, my father growls. We're your family. Family? I turn to face him. Family doesn't leave family sleeping in their car. Family doesn't mock their children's dreams. Family doesn't... Stella! Iris's voice cuts through the tension. She's standing in the doorway looking nervous. Can I talk to you? Privately? Something in her tone makes me pause. Of course. We step into the kitchen, leaving the others with Sterling. Iris closes the door behind us, her hands shaking slightly. There's something else, she whispers. Something Mom did that you don't know about yet. My stomach tightens. What? Remember your life insurance policy? The one from your old job? I nod slowly. It wasn't much. Just a basic policy I'd kept after leaving my previous position. Mom found the paperwork in your old room, Iris continues, her voice barely audible. She forged your signature, cashed it out to pay her credit card debt. The kitchen seems to spin for a moment. She what? I found the papers yesterday while they were all at the barbecue. They're in her desk drawer. She used your old driver's license to verify the signature. I lean against the counter, processing this new betrayal. Through the kitchen door, I can hear my mother's voice rising in protest about something Sterling's saying. Show me, I say quietly. Iris leads me to our mother's study, pulls open the drawer, and there they are. The insurance documents with my forged signature, dated just after I lost my job. I'm so sorry, Iris whispers. I didn't know how to tell you. I gather the papers, my hands steady despite the rage building inside me. It's not your fault. We return to the living room, where my mother is in the middle of what appears to be an impassioned speech about family loyalty. Mother, I interrupt, holding up the insurance documents. Care to explain these? The color drains from her face. Where did you... Insurance fraud, I say calmly. On top of everything else. Interesting choice. Sterling takes the papers, examining them with professional interest. This changes things, he says. We should contact the authorities. No, I reply, watching my mother sink into a chair. We shouldn't. I turn to address my family. Instead, I'm giving you all 7 days, not 14, to get out of my house. And if anyone tries to contest this eviction, these documents go straight to the police. As I walk out, Iris following close behind, I hear Annabelle start another crying fit. But this time, nobody rushes to comfort her. They're too busy realizing just how badly they've lost. The insurance fraud revelation hits me harder than I expected. I'm sitting in Sterling's office, watching him examine the forged documents under his desk lamp. It's a clean forgery, he admits, adjusting his glasses. Your mother must have practiced your signature. The thought of her sitting there practicing my signature to steal from me, I trail off as my phone buzzes with another desperate text from my mother. Please, we can work this out. Don't do this to your family. Sterling looks up from the papers. Want me to handle the insurance company? Not yet. I set my phone down. Let's see how they handle the next 7 days first. A knock at the office door interrupts us. It's Iris, looking worried. They're packing up the house, she says, but Mom's doing something weird with the family photos and documents. What do you mean weird? She's burning them. In the backyard. I'm in my car before Iris finishes speaking, racing back to the house. Sure enough, smoke rises from behind the garage. My mother stands over a metal trash can, feeding my childhood into the flames. What are you doing? I demand, rushing forward. She looks up, her face eerily calm. Cleaning house. Isn't that what you wanted? I reach into the can, pulling out a half-burned photo album. My 5th birthday party, my high school graduation, family vacations, all turning to ash. These aren't yours to destroy, I say, trying to salvage what I can. No? She drops another handful of photos into the flames. Just like this house isn't yours to take? I bought this house legally. You stole from me, forged my signature. I did what I had to do, she snaps. You were always so ungrateful, so convinced you knew better than everyone else with your computers and your startups. Aunt Josephine appears from around the corner, carrying more boxes. Laura, dear, are you sure about this? Oh, yes, my mother says, never breaking eye contact with me. If Stella wants to erase us from her life, let's help her along. I watch as she pulls out my birth certificate, holding it over the flames. You want to know something funny? Your father, Louis, he's not even your real father. The world seems to stop for a moment. What? Oh, yes, she laughs, a bitter sound. You want truth? Here's your truth. You never belonged in this family. Not really. Aunt Josephine gasps. Laura, you promised never to. Why not tell her? My mother drops the birth certificate into the flames. She's made her choice. I stand there, watching pieces of my history turn to ash, feeling oddly detached. You think this changes anything? Doesn't it? She picks up another photo album. You're not even his daughter. You have no right to. I have every right, I interrupt, my voice steady. I bought this house with my money from my company, the company you said would fail, the one you laughed at while I worked 80-hour weeks to build it. Stella, Iris appears beside me, holding her phone. I recorded everything she just said. About Dad, about the burning. My mother's face changes, realizing what this means. You wouldn't dare use that against us. Watch me. I turn to Iris. Send that video to Sterling. Now. As Iris complies, I face my mother one last time. You know what's funny? You thought destroying these photos would hurt me, but all you've done is prove exactly why I'm right to do this. You ungrateful little. Save it. I cut her off. You have 6 days left. And now, thanks to this little bonfire, we'll be adding destruction of property to the legal complaints. I gather what remains of the photos and documents, holding them close. Oh, and Mother, I'll be getting a DNA test, not because it matters, it doesn't, but because I want proof of every single lie you've ever told. Aunt Josephine steps forward. Stella, please, your mother is just upset. My mother? I laugh. No, a mother doesn't do this. A mother doesn't forge signatures or burn memories or use homelessness as a teaching tool. I start walking away, then turn back. By the way, that insurance money you stole, it's going to look great in the court documents. Really helps paint a picture of your character. As I leave, I hear my mother start to cry. Those familiar manipulative sobs she's so good at. But they don't affect me anymore. Instead, I pull out my phone and text Sterling. Get me that DNA test. And contact the insurance company. It's time to show them what real consequences look like. Iris joins me in my car, holding the salvaged photos. Are you okay? I start the engine, watching smoke continue to rise from behind the garage. You know what? I am. Because now I know for sure. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about justice. My phone buzzes with Sterling's reply. DNA test scheduled for tomorrow. Insurance fraud report ready to file. Want me to pull the trigger? I look at Iris, then at the house, then at the smoke rising into the sky. Yes, I type back. Show no mercy. The DNA test results arrive via email while I'm sitting in my favorite coffee shop. One simple PDF attachment that confirms what my mother spitefully revealed. Louis isn't my biological father. I stare at the screen, feeling strangely empty. Does it change anything? Iris asks, sitting across from me with 2 steaming cups. Actually, it makes everything easier. I turn my laptop to show her. No biological ties means no emotional complications. My phone buzzes. Another frantic message from my mother. The insurance company called. Please don't do this. Too late, I mutter, deleting the message. Sterling arrives carrying a thick manila envelope. Your family's been busy, he says, spreading out papers across the table. They've tried filing 3 different complaints with the police, 2 with the housing authority, and your aunt's lawyer friend has been making noise about elder abuse. I can't help but laugh. Elder abuse? I'm evicting people my age. Exactly why it got thrown out immediately. He pulls out another document. But here's something interesting. They're claiming you manipulated them into living there, rent-free, to set up this cruel eviction. Manipulated them? I shake my head. I literally slept in my car while they threw parties. Speaking of which, Iris interjects, scrolling through her phone, Annabelle just posted a TikTok about being homeless soon and started a GoFundMe. I take a sip of coffee. How much is she asking for? $50,000 for emergency relocation and emotional damages. Sterling snorts. Should we show her the real estate listings I pulled? There are plenty of nice apartments in their price range. No, I say, pulling out my own folder. Instead, show them this. I spread out photos across the table, screenshots of their social media posts from the past few weeks. My mother bragging about her new designer bag while I slept in my car. Annabelle's daily yoga posts from my old room. My father's business lunch receipts, all charged to the house account I secretly paid for. Documentation, I explain. Every cruel comment, every extravagant purchase, every moment they chose luxury over basic human decency. Brutal, Sterling nods approvingly. But what about... He's interrupted by the coffee shop's door chiming. My father, no, Louis, walks in, looking more disheveled than I've ever seen him. We need to talk, he says, approaching our table. No, we don't. I start gathering the papers. Everything goes through Sterling now. I just found out about the insurance fraud, he continues as if I hadn't spoken, and about the DNA test. Funny how you're only interested in talking now that there are consequences. He runs a hand through his graying hair. I knew about not being your biological father. I've always known. The coffee shop seems to go quiet, though people are still chatting around us. You knew? Iris stands up, fury in her voice. All this time? It didn't matter to me, he insists. You were still my daughter. Was I? I meet his eyes. Because fathers don't let their daughters sleep in cars. They don't laugh at their dreams or mock their failures or... I was wrong, he interrupts. About everything. The startup, the house, all of it. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't change anything. Then what would? He pulls out a checkbook. Name your price. Whatever you want. I stand up slowly, gathering my things. You still don't get it, do you? This was never about money. It was about respect, dignity, family, all the things you and Mom taught me were important, then denied me the moment I needed them. Please, he says, his voice breaking. We can't lose everything. You already did. I hand him one final document. This is a list of affordable housing options in the area. Sterling compiled it. You have 5 days left to choose one. Stella. Oh, and one more thing. I pull out my phone, showing him the insurance fraud evidence. If you or mom or anyone else tries to fight this eviction, this goes straight to the police. And trust me, fraud charges will look much worse on your business record than downsizing to an apartment. He stares at the phone, then at me, then at Iris, who hasn't said a word during this exchange. You really are your mother's daughter, he finally says. Just as ruthless. No, I correct him. I'm my own person, the one who slept in a car for 18 days, watching her family choose cruelty over kindness, the one who built something from nothing while you all laughed, the one who's finally showing you what real consequences look like. I turn to leave, then pause. By the way, I'm not ruthless. I'm just done being your victim. As we walk out, Iris squeezes my hand. That was intense. Yeah, I agree, watching through the window as Louis slumps into a chair looking defeated. But necessary. My phone buzzes with a text from Sterling. Ready to file the final eviction papers? I look at Iris, then back at the coffee shop where Louis sits with his head in his hands. Yes, I type back. It's time to end this. Eviction day arrives with flashing lights and official vehicles. 2 sheriff's deputies stand on my front lawn while my family performs their final act of defiance, refusing to leave until the last possible moment. This is ridiculous, Annabelle wails, mascara running down her face as she clutches an armload of designer clothes. Where am I supposed to go? The apartment your parents rented last week, I reply calmly. The one you called Beneath Your Dignity on Instagram. My mother emerges next, trying to maintain her composure even as the deputies begin cataloging items. Stella, please. 1 more week, just to sort things properly. You've had weeks, I remind her. You spent them burning photos and filing false complaints instead of packing. Aunt Josephine appears with Uncle Nigel, both carrying boxes. You'll regret this, she hisses. The community will hear about how you treated your own family. You mean like how you treated me? I pull out my phone, showing her the viral Reddit post about my car sleeping saga. The community's already talking. They're just not saying what you'd like to hear. Sterling arrives with the final paperwork, nodding to the deputies. Everything's in order. They have 30 minutes to remove personal items, then we change the locks. I watch as they shuttle back and forth, carrying pieces of their lives to waiting vehicles. My father, Louis, makes one last attempt as he passes me with a box of golf clubs. That insurance money, he says quietly. Your mother was desperate. The credit card debt was from her shopping addiction, I finish for him. I saw the statements. Funny how you had money for Annabelle's yoga retreats, but not for your daughter's basic shelter. He flinches, then walks away without another word. Inside, the house echoes with emptiness and accusations. Annabelle's dramatic sobs drift down from upstairs. My crystals. I can't find my healing crystals. Check my old room, I call up. The one you claimed for your emotional recovery. My mother stands in the kitchen, running her hand along the granite countertop she'd been so proud of. I suppose you'll sell it now? Make a profit from our misery? Actually, I say, I'm keeping it, but not for me. I turn to Iris, who's been quietly watching from the doorway. It's yours if you want it. I've already put it in your name. The look of shock on my mother's face is priceless. You can't. I can, and I did. I hand Iris the deed. She's the only one who showed real family loyalty. She deserves a fresh start. But she's only 17. She'll be 18 next month. And unlike some people, she understands the meaning of gratitude. The deputies call out the 15-minute warning. Annabelle rushes downstairs with an armload of crystals, nearly tripping over her own tears. This is karma, she declares, trying to sound profound through her sniffling. You'll get yours one day. This is karma, I correct her, for 18 days in a car, For every mocking laugh, for every cruel comment, for every moment you all chose appearances over compassion. My mother makes one final attempt, her voice dropping to a whisper. We can still fix this. Be a family again. No, I say simply. We can't. You made sure of that when you forged my signature, when you burned my photos, when you revealed the truth about Louis just to hurt me. The deputies give the final warning. My family files out, a parade of designer clothes and wounded pride. As the last box is loaded, I stand in the doorway of my house, my empty, quiet house. Want to do the honors? Sterling asks, holding out the new keys. I shake my head and hand them to Iris. Your house, your locks. As the locksmiths work, I set up 2 lawn chairs and a small table. Iris helped me pour 2 glasses of champagne. Is this petty? She asks as we sit, watching our family's cars pull away. Extremely, I admit, raising my glass. But sometimes petty feels like justice. My phone buzzes one last time. A text from my mother. You've destroyed this family. I show it to Iris, then type my response. No, you did that. I just bought the house where it happened. As the sun sets, Iris and I sit in our lawn chairs, sipping champagne and watching the locksmiths finish their work. Through the window, I can see my old framed photo still hanging in the hallway, the last reminder of what this family used to be. I walk inside, take it down, and drop it in the trash. Some memories aren't worth keeping. Ready to go? Iris asks as I return. Almost. I raise my glass one final time. To Karma. She clinks her glass against mine. To Karma, and to real family. The empty house stands behind us, no longer a monument to betrayal, but a symbol of justice served. Sometimes I realize the best revenge isn't just winning, it's making sure the right people lose. The lake house windows reflect the morning sun as I scroll through my phone, reading Annabelle's latest Reddit post. My millionaire cousin evicted our whole family and stole our house. Is she legally allowed to do this? Still monitoring their social media? Iris asks, setting down 2 coffee mugs on the deck. Just enjoying the comments section, I admit. Sounds like karma. I'd sleep in my car if I was you was currently the top response. Iris settles into the chair beside me, wrapping her hands around her mug. Mom tried to contact me again yesterday, said they're struggling to adjust to apartment life. Funny how that works when you can't afford weekly spa days anymore. My phone buzzes, a text from Sterling. Your mother's lawyer finally gave up. No more appeals. Good, I type back. How's the house? Iris is taking good care of it, he responds. Though your aunt keeps driving by, taking photos. Think she's trying to document negligence or something. I show the message to Iris, who rolls her eyes. I saw her yesterday. She didn't recognize my new car, so she got close enough to peek in the windows. Should have seen her face when I opened the door. What did she say? Something about betraying the family legacy. Iris sips her coffee. I told her the only legacy I saw was 18 days of cruelty. A notification pops up. Annabelle started a GoFundMe for family recovery and legal fees. Current total, $12. They still don't get it, I mutter, closing the app. They think this was about money. Wasn't it? A little bit? No. I set my phone down. It was about watching them laugh through the kitchen window while I ate cold takeout in my car. About Mom forging my signature because she needed new shoes more than she needed her daughter's trust. About Dad knowing he wasn't my biological father, but using it as a weapon anyway. Iris nods slowly. Speaking of that, did you ever try to find your real father? No, I say firmly. I don't need another parent who might disappoint me. I've got something better now. What's that? A sister who understands what real family means. A car pulls into the driveway. Sterling, carrying a folder of final paperwork. He joins us on the deck, taking in the lake view. Your mother's insurance fraud case has been settled, he announces. She accepted the repayment plan rather than face charges. How long will it take her to pay it back? Iris asks. At her new salary? About 5 years. He hands me the folder. She's also agreed to mandatory financial counseling. I flip through the documents, then pause at a photo that slipped out. An old family portrait from when I was maybe 5 before everything went wrong. Found that while clearing out the last boxes, Sterling explains. Thought you might want it. I study the image. My mother's genuine smile, my father, Louis, holding me proudly, all of us believing in the lie of perfect family. No, I decide, handing it back. That family doesn't exist anymore. Maybe it never did. My phone buzzes again. A community alert. Someone's posted about the tragic Armstrong family situation on Nextdoor asking for support. Should I respond? I ask, showing Iris the post. No need, she grins, pulling out her own phone. I already did. Posted the video of mom burning your photos and admitting the fraud. Added screenshots of their party post while you were sleeping in your car, too. Sterling whistles low. Brutal. Honest, Iris corrects. They wanted the community to know the truth. Now they do. I stand up, walking to the lake's edge. Behind me, I hear Sterling and Iris discussing the final legal details, but my mind is elsewhere. You okay? Iris calls out. Just thinking, I reply, about what Mom said, that I'd regret destroying the family. And I didn't destroy anything. I just showed everyone what was already broken. Sterling joins us at the water's edge. The house is officially clear of all appeals and challenges. It's really over. No, I say, watching a family of ducks glide across the lake. It's just beginning. But this time, we get to choose who family really is. My phone buzzes one final time. Another text from my mother. I hope you're happy with what you've done. I look at Iris, who's already reading over my shoulder, then at Sterling, who's become more than just a business partner through all this. Actually, I type back, I am, because I finally learned what you never taught me, that family isn't about blood or names or houses. It's about who stands beside you when you're sleeping in your car. I hit send, then drop my phone on the deck chair. The lake stretches out before us, peaceful and promising. So, Iris asks, what now? I smile, feeling lighter than I have in months. Now we build something better. Something real. Behind us, the lake house stands as a testament not to revenge, but to justice, and to the family we choose to become.